Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
There are times when your negative mind locks you up, and it seems like everything is against you. So much so that even waking up in the morning seems like a big achievement. If you feel this way most of the time in your life, then you're not alone. Not only, though, are there people who feel similar to you, but there are people who are at a greater disadvantage than you, but are still doing the impossible. So, Mind Boggler tells you about 6 people who are living their life to the fullest, even with physical limitations, or are overcoming their fears, or pursuing their dreams with sheer hard work. At number 6, it's Jaron Herman. When Jaron Herman was diagnosed with hemiplegia, the doctors claimed that he could not eat or get dressed on his own. Since the disease strips you of the motor skills on one side of the body, the doctors proclaimed that he would need help in the most mundane everyday tasks. Complete dependency and weakness would be his life. But Herman proved the doctors wrong. He could not only do things on his own, he even pursued his career as a professional dancer. It's jaw-dropping to know what this guy does on stage. It's shocking to believe that this can be done with such a disease. Herman danced with Heidi Latsky Dance Company for many years, where their main aim is to redefine virtuosity and beauty with discourse and performance. With his love for dance not limiting himself with any restrictions, and with an outstanding balance, he is shining through against all odds. It's rightly said by James Paolanetti that limitations live only in our minds, but if we use our imaginations, our possibilities become limitless.
I'm using my body as the story. I'm using my body as the characters and the words that I want to say about who I am, and I'm actually an underrepresented character. So whereas I wanted to write underrepresented characters, I'm in the forefront now.
At number 5, it's Aitor Francescina. When you think of surfing, it's all about gliding on the waves through surfboards and reaching towards the unlimited ocean. But it also means keeping an eye on the dangerous big waves, since it can be dangerous to your life. But what would you do if you had no eyes? This is what happened to Aitor Francescina, who was born in the 1970s with congenital glaucoma, but it wasn't until he was 14 years old that he stopped seeing in his right eye, even after many surgeries were done. This would shatter many people, but Francescina already began surfing where nothing could stop him. Surfing not only became his hobby, but also his profession, where in 1988 he opened a surfing school and became one of the coolest and inspiring coaches one has ever seen. His teaching method is so precise that it's being used all over the world. Unfortunately, in 2012, he tried to surf on a big wave and injured his second eye, where he became totally blind.
Pero algo que te lo da todo, de repente te lo puede quitar. Ese golpe había sido tan fuerte contra el agua que ya antes de abrir los ojos ya me di cuenta de que iba a ver siempre ya en negro, ¿no?
The doctors advised him to stay away from the waves or any sports, but the courage of this man is as hard as a nail. After 3 months of discharge from the hospital, he started to surf again. Yes, you heard that right. Although he's blind, being a professional, he started to surf again with wider boards and smaller waves, and then eventually got back his stride. He just had to be guided by his friends what the situation was in the waters, and after that, he's on the surfboard, surfing in the hands of the ocean. At number 4, it's Bin Su. When you see an aircraft, you opine that professionals must have designed this massive machinery. But it's 2020, y'all, and it's not only professionals who design aircraft to fly in the sky. The Chinese have aced their way to fly in the sky, and they're not professional engineers or mechanics, but farmers who are designing and building their own aircraft. Yep, you heard it right. They're building these machines in their yards, but not all designs are successful since it's dangerous and at times can turn out to be faulty. But there are also some designs being made by farmers which work perfectly fine. One such man is Bing Tu, who was one among 300 million farmers that were employed as a farmer for most of his lifetime. But Su craved flying up high in the sky. He thought it was impossible to pursue his dreams, but one day he decided to take matters into his own hands by exchanging his tractor for a screwdriver and built his first successful aircraft with the use of agricultural equipment. In the end, it all worked out. He now makes his living by building unique planes for those who are flight enthusiasts. In his free time, he glides up in the sky like he always dreamt of. At number 3, it's Anthony Bayer. Being an obese high school kid in today's generation can be hell because of the constant bullying and body shaming. This is what happened to Anthony Bayer. Born in Queensland, Australia, he was ridiculed for his weight and was never invited to any fancy parties, thereby being excluded from the social groups. In his youth, he weighed 157 kilograms because of his love for fast food, where he ate 10,000 calories a day. Bayer was living an unhealthy lifestyle and never opted to change anything. Although his classmates would constantly tease him, there was a brutal prank done on him before graduation. The most beautiful girl in the class agreed to go to the school ball with him, and he couldn't believe that the girl wanted to go out with him. So he rented a new suit, got dressed up and rented a limousine, but when he arrived at the girl's house, she prompted him by saying, "I'm sorry, you're too fat to get through the door," and slammed the door in his face. He still went to the ball, where he was mocked like hell. He then not only went into depression, but in 2014 doctors diagnosed him with the initial stages of diabetes. This encouraged him to give up on junk food, where he took it up as a challenge to lose all the weight, and he finally did it. Bayer has changed beyond recognition, where he lost 60 kilograms. He also started his own business, where he's a professional trainer who helps other people fight obesity. Wait, that's not the end of the story. His former classmates contacted him, and one among them was the same girl who pranked him. She apologized to him and asked him out. Bayer didn't tell if he accepted the offer, but he has forgiven her. Forgiven but not forgotten what she did to him. At number 2 is Keenan Kyles. A janitor's job is something that no one would have dreamt of pursuing. It's one of the most mundane jobs with lots of hard work, limited pay scale, collecting garbage and zero career opportunities. This is what Keenan Kyles' life was, where he had to take up the janitor's job at the ABC 7 Chicago TV station and was working there for more than a decade.
How did you end up at ABC 7?
Well, I've always wanted to sing ever since I was 8, so naturally I went to college for music. And so once I graduated, I was hit with reality that bills are real. So I did not have a job lined up.
Not every janitor would have plucked up the courage to change their life, but Kyles did. Kyles was not an ordinary janitor, he wanted to become an opera singer. At the age of 8, he joined Chicago's children's choir, where he performed the vocals until the age of 18, and he also studied music at the Columbia College in Chicago. Unfortunately, it was not possible to earn a living by just singing, so he started to work as a janitor. He waited to achieve his goals for the longest time, and after sheer hard work, he got the opportunity to appear as a guest on the Strahan and Sarah show, and the rest is history. It's rightly said that perseverance and hard work is the ultimate key to success. And at number 1, it's Nick Vujicic. Nick Vujicic is an inspiration to millions of people. He's an epitome of nothing is impossible. In 1982, Vujicic was born with no limbs. He faced a lot of discrimination and ridicule, where he also tried to commit suicide. When asked about his early years, he said, "A man without vision dies. I didn't see a good vision for my life, and I started to die on the inside." But the vision of his mum and dad crying at his grave stopped him from committing suicide. He stayed because he knew that they didn't deserve that pain. Time passed on and he started to realize his own potential, where he decided that he wanted to become a speaker. He was 19 years old when he gave his first speech, and since then he's traveled the world, where he meets everyone from impoverished to world leaders. He shares his story of hope to millions of people all over the world. Through his motivational talks and by writing several books, he's become a world-famous celebrity who's applauded for his courage and for his ability to overcome the obstacles in life. He's also a regular guest on many talk shows and TV programs, where he's also starred in the short film The Butterfly Circus. Vujicic gives all the credit to his family, his positive attitude, and his faith in God, where he is the founder of Life Without Limbs, an organization that helps people with physical disabilities.
I've met bankers, and I've also met orphans. We're all looking for something. We're all looking for hope. Hope you can't just have just because you were born with hope. No, we're born with pain. We're born and live through difficulties. And in our life, my parents always taught me that even though we don't know why I was born this way, that we have a choice. Either to be angry for what we don't have, or be thankful for what we do have.
So, what's your excuse? Live the life that you've always dreamt of, because life waits for no one. Pluck up the courage to make any changes possible and pursue your dreams to the fullest. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you can catch up my next video.